Hey guys, Dustin here from myfreedomsmokes.com, doing a quick video today about the SmokTech Mini Vivi Nova tank. This is the 2 milliliter size of the Vivi Nova tank. Now most of you out there have probably heard about the Vision Mini Vivi Nova. Well, this is just SmokTech's version. You know, a lot of manufacturers over there that make the products for electronic cigarettes, whenever they see a good product come along, they'll copy it, so to speak. And that's what SmokTech has done here, except they didn't just copy it. I feel like they've actually improved upon it in some ways, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But as you can see, I mean, it's just your basic Mini Vivi Nova tank. Holds 2.0 milliliters of liquid. Now this one comes with a clear drip tip. Now most Vivi Nova tanks that you see out on the market have a black drip tip. This one has a clear drip tip, so you can see that vapor as you inhale. It's hard to see it yourself, but everybody else can see the vapor kind of go through that drip tip. And even after you're done, you can see there will be a lot of residual vapor left over inside of that drip tip, which is pretty neat to kind of see the vapor lingering there. But one kind of neat thing to notice about this, the SmokTech version of the Vivi Nova tank, or the Mini Vivi Nova, I should say, is they changed the way the top cap and bottom cap fit on it. On the Vision Mini Vivi Nova, you'll see that the top cap and the bottom cap actually screw over the outside portion of the tube. So whenever you screw the top cap onto the tube, the top cap actually goes over the outside of the tube. Whereas here, the top cap and bottom cap actually screw on the inside of the tube. Now, does that make a big difference in terms of performance? Not really. That's how the original size, 3.5 milliliter size of the Vivi Nova tanks are made. So that's how SmokTech decided to make this one. And I think it's a good design. Haven't had any issues with leakage. We have heard of people having the Mini Vivi Nova tank from Vision and actually breaking the tube from the bottom threads. I don't know if they had it in their pocket or something like that, but especially if they use a liquid that'll react with that plastic, that kind of brittles the plastic a little bit, and it breaks those threads. Whereas here, I think where the bottom cap actually screws on the inside of the tube, I think it kind of eliminates the possibility of that happening. So maybe that's the reason they did it, maybe not. I'm not really sure, but I can tell you it is a good construction, and it works really well too. Let's go ahead and take it apart and take a look at what's inside here. You can take the drip tip off. You don't really have to unscrew the top cap here. It just screws right off. You can see down in there. Now the heads that they used on this are, if you're familiar with other SmokTech products, they have a SmokTech Redux clearomizer, or actually I think it's pronounced Redo, but it's spelled R-E-D-U-X. And the heads of the SmokTech Redo clearomizer are basically the same heads that they're using here. Now they did change them just slightly. I think they added a little different cone on top. Actually, hold on, let me take the head off completely. And we can take a look. I think it's actually the bottom that's a little bit different. Yeah. So you can see on the bottom here, the SmokTech Redo Clearomizer has somewhat of a cone on the bottom below the threads. Here they just put a larger gasket, like a silicone gasket, and more of a flat post on the bottom. But there still is a hole through that post. Just like on the Redo heads, everything else looks pretty much the same as the Redo heads, and we have tested it, and they are in fact interchangeable with the Redo CE5 style clearomizer. So if you have the Redo, that makes this a really good upgrade for you, because you can still take advantage of any heads that you have laying around. You're not going to be wasting those by upgrading to this product. You can still use them in this product, and vice versa. If you have one of these and want to try the Redo for some reason, then these heads will work in the Redo as well. So but that's basically it. You saw me kind of take it apart there. Everything just screws apart nice and easily. It's got two of the longer wicks on there, so it'll soak up plenty of juice and provide that juice to the heating element, which is right inside that head there. And the great thing about having these replaceable heads, if you've never had a product with the replaceable heads before, you know, atomizers, cartomizers, clearomizers, all of those types of products that you know do the actual heating of the liquid, they have a little wire inside of them that basically heats up as you power it, and that heats up the liquid and turns it into a vapor. Well, just like an incandescent light bulb, over time that filament or that wire inside just kind of wears down, and eventually it'll pop or break in some way. So eventually you do have to replace these any atomizer, cartomizer, clearomizer. It has to be replaced every so often. So the good thing about these, you know, having replaceable heads is rather than having to toss this whole thing and get a new one, you can get a 5-pack of these little bad boys relatively cheap. I mean, they usually come out to somewhere around $2 each, or maybe even a little less than that. So that makes it fairly cheap to just, you know, pop on a new head, and you basically have a brand new tank once again. Because that's the working part. Everything else is just kind of there to hold the liquid and make a connection with the battery. So that's pretty much it. Now I want to show you one really important thing that SmokTech did here, and I hope they continue to do this on more of the products that they sell, and that's this little post right here on the bottom. You can see the 510 thread. You see that little hole right there. That's the actual airflow hole, which basically feeds into that center tube and runs straight up through the top. So that's how the air flows through the device. And then this little post sticking out the bottom, that's actually what connects with the post on the battery. And the neat thing about this one is that it is actually spring-loaded. So this eliminates the problem that a lot of people run into and just don't know how to fix. It's fairly easy to fix, but a lot of people run into this problem where if they're using different batteries, different chargers, different clearomizers, stuff like that, if you have a set post on the clearomizer and you screw one clearomizer onto the battery, if that post you know, on that clearomizer is down further than anything else that you own, whenever you screw that post or screw that clearomizer down onto the battery, it can push, there's a post on the battery as well, it can push the post on the battery down. So whenever you take that clearomizer back off and go to put it on the charger or go to put a new clearomizer on it, it may have pushed that post on the battery down just far enough where it won't make a connection. Now normally you can get something like, I usually use a paper clip or tweezers or something like that and kind of pry up on that battery post to pull it back up. But this eliminates that issue entirely. That spring-loaded little piece right there, it seems so simple, but that eliminates that issue, and you never have to worry about whether it's going to make a connection with the battery again, because it sticks out there pretty far, which is really nice. So that's the SmokTech Redux, guys. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up here. To fill it up, you just basically take this top cap off. And I've got a sample bottle of e-liquid here. This is the US Light e-liquid, one of the top selling e-liquids here, because it's kind of more modeled after the Marlboro Light type flavor, which is probably the most popular cigarette out there. So it's a really popular flavor. So we'll go ahead and put it in here. And whenever you fill these things up, you just want to fill it up. You see right there where the wick comes out the side, that's where the 2.0 milliliter indication is. You want to fill it up right to that point. You don't really want to fill it up any higher than that, because that can lead to flooding. I'm going to put a few more drops in here. And that should be good enough right there. And then just screw the top cap back on. And put the drip tip back on. And there you have it. There you have a full clearomizer. Now let me grab a battery. Actually, I've got my e-vic right here. This is the closest thing. So let me screw it onto the e-vic. Now this was a 2.4 ohm head. You can see it reads 2.4 ohms. Let me do that again in case you missed it. Screw it on here. I didn't take it all the way off. Alright, so I got it off, and then let's put it back down. There we go. Alright, read 2.3 that time, but there is a little variance there. So, all right, let's go ahead and give it a try. Wow, that is a smoke-producing monster. Well, this is a VG e-liquid as well, so this will produce a little more smoke than your standard PG-based liquids. But you can see, I mean, that was a massive cloud. It basically filled this whole little area up right here. So, I mean, this thing is an outstanding performer. I'm going to give it one more hit here. Wow, a little bit too much of a hit there. Woo. But that's it, guys. This is a SmokTech Redux Mini Vivi Nova tank. I mean, it's a outstanding performer. I mean, there's not much else I can say about it. Glad we got it in stock right now, and I think our intentions are to maintain this product as of right now, because we have been impressed with it. You can get it. It's available at www.myfreedomsmokes.com. Just go in there and check it out. It'll be in the clearomizers and cartomizers category, and it'll be under the ego clearomizers category, subcategory there. So go in there, check it out, or just do a search for SmokTech Mini Vivi Nova on our website, and you'll see it there. The replacement heads are also available. Like I said, we have the replacement heads for this tank specifically, and we also have the SmokTech Redo replacement heads, which will also fit this tank, available there as well. Thanks, guys. Once again, it's Dustin at myfreedomsmokes.com, and hope you have a great time vaping.